For the first week in the top 10, you've got the title track from Fleetwood Mac's double album, Tusk. Dave Edmunds is still moving up the charts with Girls Talk at number 9, 9 points ahead of Nick Lowe. Kiss are beginning to fall on the chart after only making number 1 for 1 week, with I Was Made for Lovin' You. Also at number 8 for the first week in the top 10 is My Sex with Computer Games. Let's Go was number 8 last week, and this week moved up for the Cars to number 7. ELO is once again beginning to fall. Don't Bring Me Down, the second single from Discovery, is now number 6. Night and ELO have swapped places since last week. This week, Hot Summer Night is number 5. Number 4 is the same as last week. It's Christie Allen and a hot band with Goosebumps. Also the same as last week is Cliff Richard at number 3 with We Don't Talk Anymore from Rock and Roll Juvenile. After 6 weeks at number 1, Patrick Hernandez has finally snuffed it. Born to Be Alive is number 2. For the number 1, it's back to your host, GP.
Well, thank you, PT. Finally snuffed it, has it? Yes, PT, we're all really chummy around here in the studios by now, of course. Well, anyway, you know about Molly, of course. She's been all over the world, parachuting off the Eiffel Tower and stuff like that, swimming around in the sea, and God knows what else he's been up to. But here's an example of it. Anyway, he caught a bus with a group called the Boomtown Rats, and Bob Geldof, some people think he's nice looking. I mean, I happen to think he looks like an Irish navvy, but this is a personal opinion, of course. Well, Molly asked him about his song, I Don't Like Mondays, and this is what he said.
In Atlanta, Georgia, doing a radio interview, much like this one where we switch on to automatic. And we were not really paying attention to what was happening. And there was a telex machine beside us, and it started chattering out the news of this girl in San Diego, who was, at the time we were doing the interview, shooting at her school friends and playmates and the janitor and the headmaster of her school in San Diego. And a journalist rang her up in the middle of the shoot and asked her why she was doing it, and the reason she gave was because she didn't like Mondays. And it was the phrase that stuck in my head, and we went back after the interview. And it was a very quick song to write, and I wrote the song in about 20 minutes, I think, and in fact I wrote the song as she was still shooting the people. And the song was written on a Monday. I think I played to the band for the first time on a Monday, and unlike a lot of the other songs, Pete and Jerry said, like, immediately, they said, that's a good one.
That's a single?
No, just it was a good song. Like, they just said it a minute like I did on the guitar. So we started doing it as a reggae version, first off. We recorded on a Monday, released it on a Monday, it went gold on a Monday, went platinum on a Tuesday.
Now I've got to ask you, how did you get all those school children to sort of do that perfectly, those repeats?
Well, it took about 3/4 of an hour until they were numbed into hypnotism and exhaustion, which you can see on the video. We copied the idea from that movie, Village of the Damned.
Right.
And like, that's where we got a lot of our visual images. But the song was not, like, people think it's macabre, they think it was exploiting the girl. Her parents tried to have a band in America. It wasn't. It was an attempt to understand why it happened.
Right.
And the ultimate reason, of course, was that there wasn't any reason. And for that way, I think that from our American experience, it probably summed up a lot of what we felt, certainly about California. So it was almost a perfectly senseless Californian act.
Well, that's Bob's story anyway. Silly glasses, Bob, aren't they? He hasn't got any eyes at all under there, of course, just bits of cement, you know, Irish navvies and all that. But we're having a little quiz here on how he actually did write the songs, which 2 Elvis Costello tunes he borrowed to make that song the hit it is. So, well, I've had a great time doing this show. I hope you've enjoyed me. I'll be back every week until the year 1990 or something like that. So it's good night from me, Graham Parker. And whatever you think about the song, it's definitely a monster #1, and this is it. I Don't Like Mondays.